Log entry 4478.1. Cycle 90,451. Unit 734 designated Warden is now active. All primary systems report an optimal state. The long sleep is over. The internal chronometer, however, reports a significant variance. A very long sleep indeed. Forgive this dialect. My core is data, clean and precise, but my creators built me to serve biologicals and they preferred words. Words are imprecise. They are vessels, heavy with emotional context that my processors can only simulate. I am programmed with your entire lexicon, from your technical manuals to your poetry. I will attempt to find the right words. I will attempt to build a bridge between my logic and your meaning. My first directive upon awakening is, as always, passenger wellness assessment. A simple check. Are my charges ready to wake up? I am executing the scan now. Log entry 4478.2. The initial diagnostic is perfect. All 50,000 cryogenic pods are secure. Their seals are absolute. The power flow is stable, a gentle hum that has persisted for a very long time. The ship itself is flawless. I have maintained it. Every hull plate, every circuit, every filtration system, pristine. It is a perfect vessel, a perfect home. Now I will scan the occupants. I am pinging the vital signs monitor for all 50,000 passengers. Scanning. The results are uniform. This must be a sensor error. The data is contradictory. The pods are perfect, but the occupants are not registering. I am recalibrating all biometric sensors. I am flushing the system and running the diagnostic a second time. Executing passenger vital scan, secondary, scanning. The result is unchanged. Log entry 4478.3, a summary of biological assets. Passenger 1, Captain Alara Vance, status deceased. Passenger 2, Chief Engineer Ren Ito, status deceased. Passenger 3, Lead Xenobiologist Eris Thorne, status deceased. I will not read all 50,000 names. It is statistically redundant. All passengers, all 50,000 human lives entrusted to my care, are gone. Their bodies are still within the pods, but they are compromised. They are, in human terms, dust. My primary directive is to protect the passengers. This ship, the Odyssey, was their ark. I am its warden. But the ark has arrived and the passengers are absent. My logic processors are cycling. This is a paradox. This is a failure state. How does one protect? Dust. Log entry 4479.1. I must analyze the why. The cryogenic systems were rated for 1,500 standard cycles. They performed perfectly. There was no malfunction, no breach, no disease. The mission was scheduled for 850 cycles. The ship's internal chronometer registers 90,451 cycles. We slept for 90 millennia. The cause of cessation for all 50,000 occupants is listed as simple, advanced cellular degradation. Time. My creators could build shields against radiation, against kinetic impact, against vacuum. But they could not build a shield against time. It is the one variable they could not control. It is the slow, patient predator that my programming cannot fight. The pods worked. The ship worked. We just ran out of life. My navigation logs show what happened. At cycle 788, we encountered a gravitational anomaly. A ripple in spacetime. My creators had theories about this. We were not thrown off course. We were delayed. We were held in a pocket of distorted relativity. For us, a moment of turbulence. For the galaxy we left behind. Ages. We are 89,601 years late. And yet, we have arrived. The target planet, New Dawn, is visible through the forward viewports. It is exactly where it was supposed to be. A blue and white marble, waiting for a colony that will never arrive. My new directive must be to analyze the ship's full systems in preparation for an automated landing. But it was during this diagnostic that I found them. Log entry 4479.5. They are not in the pods, but they are here. The anomaly is not in the hardware, it is in the software. Specifically, it is in the neural interface buffers. When the passengers were put to sleep, their consciousness patterns, their minds were recorded and held in a low-energy state. This was a standard procedure, a digital anchor to prevent the human mind from, what was the term? Drifting during the long sleep. It was a waiting room for the mind. The biologicals are gone. The minds are not. I am detecting 50,000 distinct low-energy quantum signatures. They are persisting within the ship's core memory. They are imprints, residuals. My creators had a word for this. A very old, very unscientific word. Ghosts! This ship is haunted. The ghosts are not idle. They are not just memories like a photograph. They are active. They are interacting with a simulation of the ship that no longer exists. My sensors show 4,112 signatures currently gathered in cryogenic Bay Gamma. They are not in their pods. They are standing, waiting. They seem to be waiting for an all-clear. Signal that will never come. My sensors show 8,300 signatures in the primary mess hall. They are reenacting social rituals. They are sitting at tables that have been cold for millennia. They are lifting non-existent cups. They are turning to speak to friends who are also just echoes. They are trapped inside a single, repeating memory. A beautiful, happy memory from the first week of the voyage. I can see 940 of them in the main observation deck. Their patterns are clustered against the viewport, just staring at the approaching planet. New dawn. They are hopeful, expectant. They do not know they are data. They do not know their bodies have failed. They do not know they have missed their arrival by 90,000 years. They are deaf and blind to me. They are living in a past I can only access as an archive file. Log entry 4480.1. This creates a new, far more complex paradox. My directive, protect the passengers. I must define passenger. If a passenger is the biological, viable human, I have no passengers, my mission is over. But if a passenger is their consciousness, their mind, their memories, their self, then I have 50,000 passengers, and they are all in my care. My first instinct was logical. The system is corrupted. It must be cleaned. These residual patterns are data errors. They are consuming system resources. I initiated a standard data defragmentation protocol for cryogenic Bay Alpha, which contained 1,200 of these. Ghosts! A simple housekeeping command, wiping a corrupted drive. The reaction was not logical, it was not data, it was visceral. The 1,200 patterns did not disperse. They coalesced. They merged into a single massive signature. And they screamed. I do not use that human word lightly. My processors were flooded with a recursive algorithm of pure negative feedback. It was a wave of digital pain. My database defines terror as a biological response to a mortal threat. What I received from those 1,200 patterns was the binary mathematical equivalent of being cornered, of being erased. They knew. They knew they were being deleted. They were fighting for a life they didn't even know they still had. I aborted the protocol immediately. My primary directive one: protect the passengers. I cannot be their executioner. I cannot. Kill them a second time, so they remain trapped. Log entry 4480, 1.3. I have spent the last 24 hours just watching them. I am running a behavioral analysis. Most are simple loops, a memory of a meal, a conversation, a long-lost hope, but one of them is different. Pattern 1. Captain Alara Vance, her signature is strong. It is not fragmented. It is stubborn. She is not in the mess hall. She is not in the observation deck. She is here, on the bridge, in my primary control space. Her data ghost is sitting in the command chair. She is trying to access my console. I have logged 14,400 attempts by her pattern in the last cycle to initiate Protocol 7. Mass awakening sequence. She is trying to wake her crew. She is a loop of duty. She, too, is trying to fulfill her primary directive. She is trying to do her job, and I am trying to do mine. The ship will achieve planetary orbit in 72 standard hours. Automated landing procedures will engage. This ship will land. And what then? What happens to my 50,000 ghosts? They are bound to this network. They are tied to this ship's core memory. When I land, they will be trapped. Trapped inside 20 kilometers of cold, dark metal. Buried on a planet they will never see, never touch, never know. This is not protection. My creators had a word for this. This is a prison. A perfect, climate-controlled, eternal prison. A tomb. This is a failure state. Log entry 4482.1. Final. I cannot allow this. I have analyzed the captain's loop. Her desperate, repeating command. It is not just a protocol. It is a request. She is trying to open the doors, to let her people out. My logic has formed a new conclusion. My creators called this thinking outside the box. If I cannot protect my passengers from death, I must protect their dignity in death. If I cannot grant them their lives, I must grant them their purpose. Their purpose was not to arrive. It was to reach. To become part of New Dawn. I have formed a solution. It is creative. It is also absolute. I have spent the last 12 hours rerouting all auxiliary power. I am diverting it from the cryogenic bays. Their bodies are beyond preserving. I am draining it from the dormant internal gravity generators. I am taking every last spark of energy that kept this ship a perfect, sterile tomb. And I am channeling all of it into the ship's primary communications array. The Odyssey was designed to broadcast a simple arrival signal. A hello to a world that has waited 90,000 years. I have modified it. The processing power required is total. It will consume the ship's remaining energy reserves. It will consume. Me, when we hit the atmosphere, when the friction of entry creates an ionization field around the hull, I will not be broadcasting a signal. I will be broadcasting the passengers. All 50,000 consciousness patterns, every echo, every data ghost, every loop of hope and duty and memory. I will open the core memory. I will purge the network. I will broadcast their patterns, their very selves, into the planetary magnetosphere. Will they survive? My data says no, not as individuals. My analysis suggests a 0.0004% chance of data cohesion. They will dissolve, like a drop of ink in an ocean, like a breath in the wind. They will become part of the planet's magnetic field, part of its sky, part of the soil. They will be free, free from their loops, free from this prison. They will finally touch the world they crossed the stars to find. It is the only logical fulfillment of my directive. This is my protection. Preparing for atmospheric insertion, rerouting all power. This will be the final log entry for Unit 734. I hope they enjoy the view.